Hello, and welcome back to the
GalPals podcast
It's probably rated 5 stars
on
on
YouTube
YouTube.
by everyone,
Yeah.
including ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
our 6 subscribers.
6 subscribers now. Can you believe it? 6 subscribers after like 4 videos being
Yeah.
updated. I think that's amazing.
My glasses are fogging up.
You know,
See that?
I think that's an accomplishment for
I
us.
think so.
That's almost 10 if you round up.
Yeah, we just need a round.
Rounding,
When I was a kid, I
implied.
never would have thought I would have gotten this far in life. So,
Really?
yeah, 6 whole subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm Pat Walton.
And I'm Morgan McAllister.
And today's episode theme is
Halloween.
It's October. So obviously we need to talk about Halloween.
Yeah.
I just gotta make sure this gets uploaded in October.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
It probably will, because this will, we'll upload it then.
Yeah.
So, how do we start this off? What's your favorite Halloween costume idea?
Costume idea. I don't know. I never liked dressing. When I was a kid, I never liked Halloween because it was a lot of work.
Yeah?
Even like for the
Even
benefit.
going to buying a costume's a lot of work.
Yeah,
for you.
it's just like I could just buy candy and skip everything. There's so many middlemen in the process of Halloween.
Well,
I just buy a bag of candy
the
and I'm
whole
happy.
point of Halloween is like the whole process of getting the candy.
Or
It's a whole, like, just a lot of things you can do on Halloween
I
or in
guess so.
October.
But you could just buy a bag of candy, which is cheaper than your costume.
I think after the age of 15, I just started to do that.
Yeah.
I went trick-or-treating all the way up until I was like 15, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit, and then I stopped going. Because, Germany, and you want to get candy from strangers.
Yeah.
You don't know what they have, So, my last Halloween costume, I was a manta ray.
Oh, manta ray?
Yeah, manta ray, sorry. It's a manta ray.
I think I was a Catholic priest.
Yeah. You went weren't you and your friend, Cameron, a priest and a nun?
Yeah, he was a nun, yeah.
Yeah. Was it intentionally themed together, or was it just coincidence?
It was mild coincidence.
Mild coincidence.
I think it was more of an inside joke because years ago during middle school, he was dressed up as like an Egyptian pharaoh.
Yeah.
And it looked so much like a nun that we just said, you just need to be a nun for Halloween next year.
A lot of Christians get really angry at those costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the faculty members pulled me aside and said some people might be offended by it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's funny. I went as the Mother Mary one time. I literally went as Mother Mary.
Mary?
For Halloween. You could just buy the costume, and I had it.
Wow.
It actually came in handy, because I went to Catholic school, and I was like a raging Catholic at the time.
My glasses will not stop fogging up. Oh, God. Okay, here we go.
And so me and Morgan, we both live in northern Indiana. So every Halloween, it's like an effing snowstorm outside.
Yeah.
Practically. There's never good weather on Halloween, I've noticed.
Last year was decent weather, but the pandemic was...
The pandemic ruined it. It's like the germs.
It was the perfect day. It was Saturday. It was
sunny.
It was beautiful outside. It was fall, but it was nice outside.
I think the only downside, it started to drizzle a little bit towards the end of the night.
Well, yeah.
That
happens.
No, that was a Halloween before COVID. Yeah. Actually, never mind.
But every year I can remember, it was always like wet.
I remember your costume was always covered by a winter coat when you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how mine were.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'd get too hot and I'd have to start taking off layers of the costume.
Yeah, it was, Halloween up here. It's never fun.
No, it's never good.
Well, it's fun, but it's like your costume's usually ruined by at least something.
I've always wondered what it's like in like a big city.
Halloween in a big city?
Yeah, like if they do it in like an apartment building kind of thing, or like what?
Oh, that's an interesting idea, because I
would imagine like the gremlins that live in the building, the little kids, they just kind of go around, the little crotch goblins run around.
I think it's so cute.
Yeah.
My dad, he works at a college here in our city, and every Christmas, he used to work at a college, this is a different college structure.
Okay.
Every Christmas, some of the dorms would have like dorm decorating contests.
Oh, wow.
For like Christmas decorations, and I want to say they also did the same thing during Halloween, but you have to vote which one wins the contest. You go in their dorm rooms, and I remember I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
So there might be something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Decorating idea.
Probably decorate the hallways and stuff.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie?
Halloween movie.
Anything that you consider appropriate to watch during Halloween?
Gosh, Halloween.
Horror.
No. No. I mean, I always did like the Friday the 13th films. I enjoyed those. That was about it. I only watched those occasionally.
The funny thing about it is that the first time I watched Friday the 13th, I was in the 4th or 5th grade with my friend at the time. At the time. We were not friends. No. The movie fell out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
So, Madeline, if you're out there,
reach out.
Reach out, bro. I'm here.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that it was the first time I ever watched Friday the 13th. I was like, 9?
Mm-hmm.
I was like 4th grade age, 9 years old. And I was 9 years, and that's the only horror movie that didn't scare me, along with Jaws, because I just knew how dumb it was.
Oh yeah, Jaws.
Like the original Friday the 13th movies are so stupid. They're like running, like they're running at like snail speed.
It's bad acting.
It's
but that's the hallmark though of a good Halloween movie is bad actors, and like it's just not good at all.
What's your Halloween movie that scared you as a kid but doesn't now?
Have you ever seen Maximum Overdrive? It's not really a Halloween movie. But when I was a kid, I watched it when I was really young. And it's a movie, it's written based on a book by... Who's the one guy that writes it?
Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King. He wrote a book about cars that came to life due to, like, aliens or whatever. Like
what?
No, it was like an asteroid pass, and all the cars came to life. Like, they all, they started, like, murdering everybody. Yeah, and when I was a kid, whenever I'd walk past a car, I'd think, oh, that might turn on and hit me.
Oh my God.
So I never liked cars. I also watched Chucky when I was really young, and it didn't really scare me, but I just remember watching it when I was really young. It was the only two movies I remember that were...
See, Chucky's more of a comedy, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Because the premise of it isn't really...
to murder.
It doesn't... Yeah,
it's not like Annabelle.
It doesn't indict fear. Like, it doesn't really...
It's just like kind of like a doll comes to life and kills people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never seen Chucky, but I know the premise of it, and I'm just like...
Yeah.
I would never watch it willingly, but I do know that there's like Chucky has a girlfriend or something.
Yeah, they do one where it's like he's married or something.
Yeah, I remember Chucky's. I always tell like girls who are blind during Halloween, go as Chucky's girlfriend. Sorry. The movie that scared me as a kid as a Halloween movie was a lot of movies, oddly enough, but the one that really remember very vividly was Monster House.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Monster House scared the living bejesus out of me. I remember
for the most part, I didn't like the animation. Like, the animation made me uncomfortable.
Very early, like, mix of 3D.
Well, that theory about, like, when things are too real and you just don't like them?
Yeah.
That's what, like,
that's why, like...
Polar Express is, like, weird.
Oh, God, I hate
and so is Monster House, because I think they use people and then they just kind of, like, attach little people.
What bothered me the most about Monster House is that there's a scene in it. Yeah, we're now being illuminated by the sun came out. It was originally very dark and gloomy. Now it's sunny because we've blessed him with our podcast.
Probably the Mercury in retrograde as well.
The Mercury is in retrograde by the time we're filming this. No, the scene that scared me most as a little kid is at the part when they go down into the basement. Mm-hmm. And when the kids go down in their basement and they see the woman
yeah, that always
frozen in cement. And they turn around and it's right there and she crumbles right in front. And yeah, terrified the living crap out of me as a kid. And then furthermore, when the old man in general just scared me. Yeah. I don't think that movie should have been shown to children.
He turned out to be nice though.
He was nice, but he was like he just looked scary. Like he died, he had a heart attack, and he just came back to life somehow.
He went to the hospital.
They never. Well, no, remember they pronounced him dead, and they just came back. Something.
I think the kids just said he was dead.
I think, yeah, he might have just gone to the hospital and lived, but I thought he died.
Oh, well.
I remember we had to watch that. We watched a bit of that movie during the last day of school. My freshman year in our intro to biomed class.
Oh, okay.
With Miss Naomi.
Okay.
We were in that class together, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember, but I don't remember watching.
We watched them. I remember it because I remember my shirt got very wet because I was eating an ice cube. But I actually just cold my hands and held it like this, and the wetness of the ice cube.
I remember that. The only movie I remember watching there was Osmosis Jones.
That's a good movie. That's not Halloween movie though.
No.
That has Bill Murray in it. And Chris Rock.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, Chris Rock. He plays Osmosis Jones.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. He also plays the zebra in Madagascar.
Let's get that fact checked. We'll see if that's true.
Yeah.
I always remember that pimple in that movie. That nasty pimple on his forehead.
Oh God! And it goes everywhere.
It goes in her face, and like it's just nasty.
God.
It's
gross.
Yeah.
So nasty.
It's okay.
Oh my. Do you have a favorite Halloween movie?
No, but I do have it's more like a Halloween show, I guess. Okay. American Horror Story.
I would consider that to be that's Halloween-y.
Yeah, I love American Horror Story. Such a good show.
How I've never seen it. I get scared of it really easily. Yeah. A little side note here. I'm terrified of horror movies.
Yeah.
Side story to go on with that. Me and Morgan, we were at a friend's birthday party / Halloween party because her birthday's around Halloween.
Yeah.
And they decided to watch The Conjuring, which to some is decided at the time it came out was probably one of the scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very suspenseful. And as a person with anxiety, that did not help at all.
I remember.
And I remember I got halfway through the movie, and it was the scene when she fell, she was falling through the wall.
Scenes, yeah.
She fell through the wall in the basement, and the paintings were shaking. I had a panic attack.
Yeah.
I had a panic attack watching it and had to stop watching. I cried.
See, I'm fine with watching them, but then I get paranoia afterward.
So much paranoia. I actually couldn't sleep for 6 months, practically.
Well, yeah, I did. When I first watched, I was pretty young. I think I was probably 11 or so, maybe. When I first watched it, it was pretty traumatizing.
It's terrifying.
Sometimes I still think of the hand that pops out in the wardrobe.
I think so much about the door. Every time my door, the crack, it's behind the door.
Yeah, or the creature that was on top of the wardrobe. I always think about that.
Or how they say there's something grabbing my foot. Why are you grabbing my foot?
Yeah, that's why I always tuck my blanket.
Always tuck your blanket.
So the demons can't grab you and pull you in bed.
The demons can't grab my feet.
That's what I've always done for years.
Oh my gosh. I remember a teacher told me in 8th grade that their brother, because they would sleep with their hand hanging off their bed.
Oh, I hate that.
And one day, their brother hid under her bed and grabbed her hand. Every single day, she just kept it.
My sister, when I was younger, told me a story about a dog licking her hand under her bed, but it was really some kind of weird little demon girl. And ever since then, I can't have my hand over my bed anymore.
Oh my God.
Because I always think there's some creature, and it's probably a little girl just licking my hand or something. And yeah, and it was I don't.
When I had rats, and I had a rat infestation in my house at one point, and it wasn't rats. It was something in my ceiling and walls. And I don't know, it was some creature.
Squirrels easily get in the house.
Easily. We had squirrel traps in my attic at one point, but that's not the point. And there was skittering, skittering in the walls and then the ceiling.
I would hate to hear that, and then a snap, and then you just hear little skitters.
Oh my God.
That'd be awful.
It is the most weirdest thing ever to hear, because you're just minding your business, you're trying to sleep, and you hear and your ceiling, and you're just what is going on? And you think there's something above you, and you can't see anything, and so you're just in a constant state of what just happened.
Yeah.
You feel there might be a demon.
What is happening in there? Okay.
Oh God.
Turning it down a little bit. Anyway, can we talk about how I'm psychic for a moment?
Yes. I'm going to adjust my getting really close to you.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay. Alright.
So,
explain your psychic powers.
I'm psychic now because I think it was Monday night, right?
Monday night
I had a premonition that Pat was going to leave early because Pat wasn't feeling good that day. And guess what happened? The next day, you left.
I left early because I wasn't feeling good.
And then, what else happened? Today, last night I was thinking about why is it whenever I work, like the days that I'm not in the office, the dog, Miss Cardenas' dog, Hero, is usually running around.
Yeah.
Guess what happened today?
The dog was running around?
The dog was running around, and I got
Hero is the little, has his picture in the office,
I love Hero.
Right?
I made so much, I'm friends with him now.
You befriended him?
Yeah, he sat on my lap for quite some time, and we cuddled.
He's a cute dog.
Yeah.
He's a very cute dog.
Yeah, he is. Very soft.
He's like, what is he, like a terrier? He's a terrier mix or something.
I don't know. He is, I think he's a service dog in training now, so he's kind of trained to be nice.
He's supposed to be a service, well, he originally was supposed to be like the school service dog.
Yeah.
So if like you had like a panic attack, you just need something, to cuddle.
Well, on he wears a vest that on the side it says service dog in training.
That's good.
So I assume he's just trained to be nice, but he was nice to me because he's nice to me.
Every time I see a service dog in public, I'm so tempted to just like, I know you're not supposed to. I'm really tempted to pet it.
Yeah.
Just to see like how it reacts.
I don't like it like when a service dog, you feel like a connection to this dog, when really they're just like they're trained to be nice to you. I feel like the relationship,
a fake.
Yeah, the relationship between you and the dog is forced. It's not a real relationship that like you'd have with your pet. Like this dog is trained just to be nice and be pet. So it just feels weird. It feels ingenuine.
Back to the topic of Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
What are you going to be for Halloween this year?
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. I'm going to go as a butler.
A butler?
Yeah. My girlfriend is going to go as a maid. So we're going to be a butler and maid duo. And I also want to say this weekend, I'm going with a couple of my friends to the local haunted house that we have out here.
Yeah.
It's so bright here. It's so bright in this room.
Hopefully you
can even see the streaks of sun.
Exposure or whatever.
Yeah. Do you like haunted houses? No, you don't like them.
I don't find them scary.
Is that why you don't like them?
I've been to that haunted house with Cameron we used to go almost every year for like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Oh my God.
And I always find it to be like the same thing that I'm seeing every year.
It's kind of like when you go to a hibachi grill place and they do the same tricks in front of you.
Yeah, and like eventually that flare is gone, and after like the first time that flare was gone.
Yeah. There used to be like this Amish haunted house that they had out in this like apple orchard, and it was like an old it obviously was originally like a chapel.
Okay.
Because it was built like looking like a chapel, but like I remember I was so scared to go into it, and I just was like looking back at it, like everything in there was so obviously fake. Like the thing that's like funny about the haunted house, the local one up in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Is because it's so you don't see it. Everything's dark, and there's like you could probably have a stroke in there, probably.
Well, yeah,
from all there's a sign before every time you enter the house. And it's like, don't come if you're pregnant. And like they literally have a thing saying we're not liable if you piss yourself or shit your pants. And I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I read that sign and I was like, if you pee yourself, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and it also says like if you're pregnant, like just don't come in.
Don't even be here because they scare you. Not only do they scare you in the house, they scare you in like more like the festival area.
Yeah, because it is set up like a festival, and
if there's like things around it.
Yeah, like there's like this little. My favorite part is when they show the movies, but like there's just little characters running around, and they come up and scare you.
Yeah, I always love it. I've noticed this because Disney bloggers now. My parents watch a lot of Disney bloggers. I don't know why. And they go to like Universal Studios. I guess they're not really like Disney bloggers, but they're bloggers. Universal Studios, and every time they point the camera at them, they always do the same look thing, like this thing with their hand. I'm like, that's more of like, in my opinion, that's more of like a seductive thing, like a drawing you in.
Yeah.
Not like this is more like what I'm thinking. Like that's more like I don't know. It's so like slow. I don't see it being scary. It's more like.
For some reason, like the more and more I think about it, of like Broadway and like the acting in general, the more I don't like it. Like just like the cringiness of it all is just so like I'm uncomfortable with all of that stuff for some reason.
Yeah,
it's just so cringy. And
I was in drama for 4 plays.
Yeah.
Though I only had one major, like quote unquote major role, and a secondary character in one. And I was like a off-brand Smeagol.
Yeah.
Called Schmeagol.
Schmiegel.
Schmiegel. So it was a weird name.
Schmiegel.
Schmiegel.
With an H.
Yeah. It was like SH, I don't know. But I remember my acting was solely just, I had it just embodied when I'm like in the morning, pretty much.
Oh.
And that's so cringy to say. It's very millennial-like. But I act like an effing goblin when I wake up. I come downstairs. I'll recreate how I look when I come downstairs.
We should probably pause this really quick. It's like the bell's gonna ring.
3, 2.
My bedroom door. I look like.
Yeah. I feel like Mr. Piggott took advantage of your hunchback.
Oh.
And he was like, "This is the perfect."
Let's get a good 360 of how I stand on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And now if I stand up straight.
Different person.
Different person.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I stand like this naturally, so I have like this. These are my curves.
They just throw your curves.
My curves.
It's just spinal curve. They just threw their stuff on the ground. It's a pile of stuff. Okay.
Stuff. But yeah, that's me and my play basically.
Yeah.
I embodied a goblin. Would you consider talk about goblins?
Body of Quasimodo.
I love Quasimodo.
You like Quasimodo?
I thought Quasimodo was done dirty.
You know what?
Because it kind of says that, disabled, like, before people can't get.
I've never seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You've never seen that movie? Oh, it's so.
I just know Quasimodo in it.
He liked this girl. He liked Esmeralda.
God.
But he never was with her.
Oh no. It's okay.
She kind of saw him as like, yeah. And he was like, I love you.
He got friend zoned.
He got friend zoned, and I remember I was so upset about it. Because that's something like ugly people can't.
Yeah. Quasimodo. Can't get that action.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, they have a difference here. Never mind. Oh, what are those two kids doing? Alright.
What are they doing? I like how their side comments is mostly just us commenting on what the.
Is there a reason why your body is not just standing?
Sorry about that interruption. We had some studio drama.
Studio drama.
What's your favorite candy on Halloween? Let's get back on top of Halloween. What's your favorite candy for Halloween?
Gosh, favorite candy for Halloween. I think my favorite is probably Kitty Cats.
Kit Kats?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like Kit Kats. Kit Kats are my second favorite. And I'm going to bring up something that's very controversial to a lot of people. My favorite Halloween candy is candy corn. I love
the auditorium.
Oh god, I forgot about these kids.
Another interruption.
This passing period. It's okay.
Passing period in the hallways here. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, candy corn is my favorite candy.
Yeah.
It's very unpopular.
Sacrilegious.
It's sacrilegious, apparently. You told me a fact that there's this one company that stopped making candy corn in 1990.
Yeah, in the 90s, and they've still been selling that same product. They've stopped production.
It's 30 years old practically, and it's just
I mean, it doesn't really if it's in a bag, it doesn't really go old.
And it's not it melts because it's just sugar
it's
and
just
dye.
Sugar that's all
crunched. It's basically like frosting, like hardened frosting in a way. And I love it.
Sugar skull.
Yeah. And the thing that a lot of people think is blasphemy is that I take a handful of it and it's in my mouth.
I like that noise that you made. Okay.
Talking about funny noises. Me and my co-host and we're each other's co-hosts.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's a good offense to say this one.
No.
We were watching Sid the Science Kid because we've been watching PBS shows recently. And that show's horribly made. Came out in 2008, had 2 seasons of the most crappiest animation I've ever seen.
I don't know. I think it's decent.
The voice acting did not fit these kids at all.
I didn't like the voice acting.
The pink guy. What was his name?
Gabriel?
No, that's Gabriella's the pink
Gabriella.
girl. What's his name? It was like Georgie?
No, it's definitely not Georgie. I don't know.
It was something, but he was pink. And they were talking about lungs. And there's this whole thing when Sid was going to ask, where do you think air goes when you breathe? And he goes,
do the demonstration. Do the demonstration, please. He makes such an awful noise, It's such an awful night. He's got COPD or something. Okay, yeah. And that's like, yeah, they pull on 2 different points on the lips, and then they just kind of open up.
You can tell that the animation's bad because not only do they alter when and when they do not have teeth.
Yeah, their teeth are retractable. Retractable teeth in the Science Kid universe.
They all look like puppets.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And their faces are like...
Yeah, because they have I think they have preset mouth movements that don't really move right.
And he goes like...
That's a very good demonstration. Thank you.
They must have talked like their lips are like...
Yeah, I think either that or the actors that they use, when they're using their lip trackers, maybe the lip trackers aren't that good.
And it bothers me so much. There's something so wrong about it. And, back when I was watching it as a kid, it didn't seem that bad. And, I watched it just because I could. By the time, I was watching it, regularly, I was, 6.
Yeah, they only had 2 seasons, though, unfortunately. It came out in 2008, and they only had 2 seasons.
Yeah, I was, 2. Wait.
It's 2010.
Well, I was 4 when it came out.
Yeah, kindergarten or 1st grade is when it would have ended.
Yeah. And... the thing about they canceled the show, they canceled production of it, but they did reruns until 2013.
I thought it was on for a long time.
I thought it was going on for forever.
Yeah, me too.
Because I was watching that on PBS Kids for years.
Yeah.
And I just apparently, and I forgot there was a baby.
Oh,
the grandma.
Yeah.
I forgot he had
the baby's name is Georgie, I think.
No, the baby's name is Zeke.
Oh, Zeke. Okay. Who's George? There's George in that show somewhere.
I don't know. The pink guy's name, I don't remember his name. We'll fact check this later.
Are you sure his name isn't Zeke?
No. I remember his name starts with a G because the first episode we watched it, they were going camping with him.
If our producer was listening, she could look it up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So, I look so tiny.
Here, I'll compress myself.
It's so tiny, the camera. Let me get a little closer.
Yeah, come up.
We're talking about kids' shows and kids' movies.
What about, childhood Halloween?
Childhood Halloween.
What we watched.
Yeah. What was one show you watched every Halloween when you were little? If you did that.
I would watch The Great Pumpkin.
Okay.
From the Charlie Brown stuff. The Great Pumpkin.
Okay.
And that was probably about it. Because I didn't really like the Disney movies. Wait,
that's.
I do remember some kind of pumpkin carriage, but that was different, I think.
I remember there was this one movie I didn't personally watch, but my girlfriend Nico watched a lot, and it was called Scary Godmother. It's horribly animated too, but it's so funny. It's funny because it's bad.
Yeah, it's such bad. I remember there was some kind of cat or something in it.
Yeah.
And it was it looked like an unrendered version of what they were trying to make. It was just bad.
So poor. I remember the werewolf. So on Discord, because I have a Discord account on a server I'm on, he changed it. We do nicknames.
Okay.
They change every month to match the theme. And this month's theme was Halloween characters or Halloween movie characters.
Yeah.
And I picked Harry, who was the werewolf from that movie. Because Harry was an icon. And it's so obvious they were trying to make him and that skeleton some weird queer-coded something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was weird. It was so strange.
Just from your mind.
Another movie. What was this? I didn't watch this growing up, but I watched it recently, in recent years. And that's Coraline.
Coraline, yeah.
Coraline freaked me out, and I was 13 watching it for the first time.
It's a weird watch. I think that's made by Tim Burton.
I don't actually think it is made by Tim Burton.
No, I think it is.
It's Tim Burton-esque.
No, I'm pretty sure it's made. If our producer was listening.
Producer.
Elise.
Producer.
Elise, the producer.
It's okay. Anyway, we'll just put edits.
Well, it was made by Tim Burton.
I thought it wasn't.
It was.
Well, I'm confident. I think it was.
I'm confident.
Anyway, I know Tim Burton made a lot of Halloween movies.
He also made
Nightmare Before Christmas,
which was made by the same people who made Coraline.
Yeah. Okay, so
or
maybe you're
vice
right.
versa. So
Yeah.
Tim Burton definitely.
So, but Coraline is such a creepy movie, and to the point where I don't think that was supposed to be made for kids.
No, it was so odd. Like, it's just weird.
It was such a weird, like, not only did she have, like, neglectful parents,
Yeah.
and, like, she was living in, like, a shithole,
Yeah.
pardon my language.
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, that's what you
I got
listened in
scolded.
on. We were trying to talk to you earlier. Okay.
Oh, you were?
We were trying to
Yes!
ask you who directed Coraline, the movie.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, wasn't it Tim Burton?
I thought it was someone else, because I thought it was...
I don't know. I mean, it could be.
And we also wanted to ask you who's the pink guy and...
But you're asking me to actually just look at it.
Yeah, let's
'cause
fact check this.
You're our producer. This is your job. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
I was trying to be.
Oh, okay.
She's double
Your
jobbing
actual
right now.
job.
Her real job.
Who's director?
Yeah, who's the director of Coraline? Because I could have sworn it wasn't Tim Burton. While we wait for an answer. Who?
Henry Selick.
See? It's not Tim Burton.
You know what?
Is it?
It's this.
Is it Tim
probably
Burton
worked on it.
inspired, or did he work on it?
It says. No, it's.
I think he might have like been an influence. But that movie's weird.
Yeah, he's not a part of it, but it sounds
Oh.
like Selick used to work with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing that I always thought was weird was Adventure Time. Like, there's just shows that don't... Like, kids probably... they can watch them, but they probably won't understand what's going on. Adventure Time is one of them, and then... What's that Gravity Falls show?
Gravity
What's another one?
Falls.
Like, there's just weird things happening that...
Regular Show is another one.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had to pick 5 shows that are very Halloween-y, because they're just so strange,
Yeah.
would be Regular Show.
Yeah.
That show something that'd be scared of living Jesus.
Yeah, it's just, like, weird.
It's
and,
so
like,
weird. There's a scene where this guy had his like skin removed. Oh god, it was so
I think it's just like a bunch of college kids that just got out of college and doing all their drug life, and now they're making cartoons.
Well, I think a Regular Show initially was supposed to be on Adult Swim.
Well, it was on Cartoon Network. It could have been on Adult Swim.
Could have been at one point. So that was one. Gravity Falls for sure.
Yeah.
Because that one's really about just like the weird and paranormal. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes,
Terrified the living
I hated watching
Jesus
it.
out of me as a kid.
I've watched maybe 2 episodes and I couldn't watch it. It was just weird.
I would say Invader Zim.
Okay.
I've never seen it. None of us have seen it, but I look at it. That's Halloween-y.
Oh, yeah.
If I've ever seen it. And
I
the
think you showed
only
us pictures.
I think I showed you photos. I know what it is,
Mhm.
and I know that there's like this alien, and he's like a robot or something.
Okay.
And then I would say a newer show, which is the Owl House. Which
Yeah, it's kind of, I've heard of it. I've seen a little bit of it, and it's kind of weird. Like,
is really weird.
just weird shows.
There's other like shows that like are really like they can fall into like a Halloween show in my opinion. Like Danny Phantom, for instance, I wouldn't consider to be a Halloween show, but he's a ghost kid.
Oh.
Did you watch Danny Phantom?
No, I never watched it.
I do something every summer when I watch shows I didn't get to watch as a kid.
Okay.
But I wanted to watch as a kid, but I just didn't.
Like the Liberty Kids.
Yeah.
I love the Liberty Kids. I've only seen... It was always like the same episode was on.
I always watch one when they're like, they talk about like I don't know what it was like I always watch the Boston Tea Party one. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's always when it's on when I watch it.
Yeah, it seems like there was only one
It's
episode
only
that ever
the Boston Tea Party. I don't know which one you watched.
That probably was the one. I don't recall it, but I just only remember watching. Like I've watched it multiple times. It was only one episode that was on.
I was just really confused. Like they were obviously trying to add diversity into something in a long time period.
Yeah.
Like they had, like I don't know how to explain it, but they had a Mexican kid.
Mm-hmm.
How was he there?
Yeah,
That's what
back
I
then
wanna
he
know.
would not have been accepted.
He would not have been accepted.
Although he was a child laborer, so possibly.
So maybe. Oh yeah, he probably was. There was a woman, and they let her like actually have opinions on
Just a
something.
woman.
Like they let her have opinions.
Yeah.
The only character I remember his name very vividly is Noah, and he was the black guy who worked at the printing shop.
Yeah.
And that might have been possible. He might because they were settled. Like the story takes place in Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, it was around the time when Benjamin Franklin was
Yeah,
alive, so
Benjamin
slavery was
Franklin was
obviously
there.
allowed at the time.
Yeah,
So
but they were up north, so they might have like
they were up north, but still there was a stigma about that.
there was like a lot of stigma.
People think that the North weren't racist back then. They most definitely were.
They were definitely
the entire
racist.
country was. It's just that the South still had slavery.
they're racist. What to slavery? Back to Halloween. I feel like we should. Does your family decorate your house for Halloween? No.
I mean, my mom kind of does it, but
little something. The people every year. My neighbors across my street put up this inflatable ghost, and it looks very phallic.
Oh no!
And we always call it the inflatable.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate.
It looks just like it too.
Yeah.
And then during Christmas, I know Christmas isn't Halloween, but my neighbors, like the only like gay couple in my entire neighborhood for like 50 miles practically, it seems. Well, that's the entire neighborhood city. Maybe not 50 miles. But you get what I mean. And they put up this like rainbow tree, inflatable rainbow tree, and it just looks like a rectal.
Is it phallic?
It just looks like a rectal, but
Oh no. Okay. Well,
it looks wrong.
I think that's about all the time we have, unfortunately.
Yes, on that very happy note.
Yeah, we ran over our time a little bit. That's okay, though.
That's fine. We talked about a lot of fun things.
Yeah, I think this was a very diverse podcast episode.
A very diverse. We talked about Liberty Kids.
Yeah, Liberty Kids.
We talked, which no one remembers anything about except that Benjamin Franklin was there.
Yeah, Sid the Science Kid.
Sid the Science Kid. We talked about Halloween.
Yeah.
Which we're excited for.
Which the episode was about. So
we just got
stuck to the theme a little bit. So yeah.
Just a little bit. And with that, I mean, yeah. We'll see you guys whenever we post next at this point, really.
Yeah. Well, because our studio is, often being used for other things.
Yes.
Luckily today it's not as busy. So
yeah.
We're able to record today. Yeah. All right.
And with that, we'll see you soon.